I'm preparing my carnitas, my protective diet carnitas, and they just came out of the Instant Pot, and I just broke them up with a spoon. You could use a fork, stir them into that, all the spices. And this is a half sheet pan, or a half the size of my normal rimmed baking pan. And I have it lined with parchment because I don't have a silicone mat that fits this. You could use your full size, your 17-inch, but this recipe, because it's just one can of jackfruit, fits just fine onto the baking sheet. And you're going to spread this out, because the whole point in the oven now is to crisp it up a little bit. Don't dry it out because you want it to be a nice juicy meaty texture, but some of these larger core pieces of the jackfruit you could break up with your spoon, your fork, or your hands, but don't shred it too finely because you want it to have a nice meaty texture. And then into the oven. Plant-based carnitas are hot out of the oven. They are seasoned to perfection, and these are going to add so much to your soft tacos, your nachos, your, oh, what else, Jerry? Oh my gosh, put them on your Mexican pizza. Put them on everything. And cover it with Melt Bake Cheese. Check it out. I've got it melted, fresh out of my Instant Pot. It cooled enough for me to handle this handle, but I got it out, quick release, in time for it to be nice and liquidy to manage to apply to our fresh corn tortillas that Jerry and I made. It was J&J Tortilla Factory, as you heard, and I made blue corn and white corn, and these are mini tortillas, so we did 12 instead of the normal 7 to 8 per batch, so we could have little mini tacos. But I'm going to show you how to make the taco melts. This is my favorite way to use the Melt and Bake Cheese. I don't know. Is it my favorite way? Maybe the pizza. Maybe the loaded nachos, the sheet pan nachos that I'm going to show you how I do up in weeks to come in protective diet education. But I am layering up these soft tacos, these fresh tortillas. You can buy your tortillas and layer them up, or you can make them on a protective diet. On a protective diet, we have fresh corn tortilla independence. We're making our own, and we're keeping them organic and beautiful and fresh, and we're really, really engaging with what we're eating by making them ourselves. So into the oven these go. While I was making my fresh tortillas with Jerry in the J&J Tortilla Factory, I roasted some tomatoes, serranos, and jalapenos to make some salsa molcajete. One of my favorites, one of the easiest salsa recipes to make on a protective diet. And I'm going to add a clove of garlic. You don't have to peel it, you could add it straight in the blender. But I like to leave my salsa molcajete kind of chunky, like I made it in a molcajete. This is cheater molcajete. So I'm throwing in my garlic, I'm throwing in my jalapenos, and you can keep this as light or as spicy as you want. I'm adding extra capsaicin because of its anti-aging, antioxidant properties, protective properties. These are super hot tomatoes. They came right out of my little mini toaster oven. You could put them under your broiler in the oven. You know how to make this recipe. If you don't, make some salsa molcajete. What are you waiting for? And then I like to leave a few tomatoes here. After I blend this up with a little salt, I'm gonna add some salt to this, I like to add these in the end to give it a chunky texture, like I blended it in a real molcajete. This is cheater molcajete. So I blended up that garlic, and I'm adding the last of my tomatoes. You could use cherries, grapes, whatever you have. And don't forget all of that awesome roasted tomato nectar. And I'm gonna pulse this in my blender. So I leave a few chunks like I blended it in, like I hand mashed it in my molcajete. Blended and ready. And before I put it all away and store it in the refrigerator, here is my molcajete, also known as a mortar and pestle in America. So I'm going to put my salsa in there. Oh yes, this is as good as it gets. It doesn't get any better than this with your homemade fresh corn tortillas baked into tostadas or tortilla chips, and now with the Melt Bake Cheese on our taco melts. Oh my gosh. So I'm gonna put this away in the fridge for another day because can't eat it all today. We gotta savor it. But this I'm gonna allow to cool, and you could eat it as is, or you can add your fresh chopped cilantro and fresh diced onions to it if you wanna freshen it up a little bit. And I will, but I'm gonna let this cool down so that it doesn't cook my fresh cilantro. That's very important. You want the freshness of your fresh herbs. And check out that storing herb video so that you can keep fresh cilantro, parsley, and dill, green onions, scallions around for weeks, up to 3-4 weeks in your refrigerator using my storing herbs technique. Taco melts are hot and ready, and I am going to plate them up to show you what I like to do with them. You could top them, you know, with all of our protective diet favorites. Pico de Gallo, a little salsa molcajete would do one just fine. Great snack, great dinner. Julie's beans, unfried beans, pintos and cheese. We have so many recipes to put on these taco melts. Let me get one of these blue corn tortillas. And the edges are a little bit crisp, but they're nice and soft to make into a taco with your carnitas. So what I'm gonna put on here first is my carnitas. Pile them on. Go light or go heavy. This is a protective diet. Keeps you slim. And then on top of that, I'm gonna add some of my salsa molcajete. But before I add, well, I think I'm just gonna, you don't even need this because these are seasoned so beautifully, but I'm gonna add a little bit. Why not? More lycopene, more antioxidant protection and flavor. Let's keep layering it on. So then I have here, I have my cilantro and onions. I have it in this container too. This would be typical on a carnita. Just cilantro and onions, and you're good to go. And with these taco melts, oh my gosh, and that cheesiness, oh my gosh, with the Melt and Bake Cheese, we got it going on. Invite all your friends over for a taco night and carnitas. And I'm gonna add a little bit of plant-based yogurt on top. This is my crema. This is my sour cream replacement. Oh my gosh, what are we missing on a protective diet? Absolutely nothing. You want to spice this up, add some sliced jalapenos.
We're missing some thin, runny yogurt. That stuff is
thin, runny yogurt. This is our classic Jerry's plant-based yogurt. And you could put Greek yogurt if you want to strain it out, but I think this is good to go and thick enough as it is. We could add some tomatoes, diced tomatoes. I'm making some Pico de Gallo, but I didn't get it on my plate yet. But these are good to go. I hope you're enjoying your protective diet as much as Jerry and I are. Seriously, this is a protective diet. What are you waiting for? Eating a diet for optimal health doesn't get any better than this. Until next week, when I put out a new recipe. Right, Lucky? He's helping me out here. Photo shoot for carnitas on taco melts with the new Melt and Bake Cheese. Oil-free, fat-free, whole food, plant-based diet, sugar-free, additive-free, clean eating. That's what we're doing here. Join us on a protective diet. We're waiting for you. We can't wait to get to know you too. Take care. Best of health.